August NRBC meeting. First item on the agenda, I think, is roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Lasky.
Here.
Vice Chair Stafford.
Here.
Commissioner Grabowski.
Here.
Commissioner Shimke.
Here.
Commissioner Lucina is absent. We have one vacancy. Commissioner Harless.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Okay. Can you scroll to the agenda? Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Okay, is there any public comment on agenda-related items? Grubba, okay. Approval of the agenda. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of meeting minutes from the July 10th, 2025 meeting. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I will.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should mention, Kayla did resign. She sent an email earlier this week stating that she needed to resign from the commission. So appreciate her time that she was here, but she did have to resign. So
She was a good member.
she was a
She
great,
was a very good.
Yeah, she
She-
worked hard on the project.
yes.
She did an incredible job, and she was a hard worker.
Yeah.
She will be missed.
Yeah, she will
Yes.
very much be missed, and hopefully if circumstances change, maybe at some point she can return if there's an opening.
We should send her a little thank you note from the
That's a
Yep.
great idea.
commission.
Yeah, yeah,
I can write it.
Okay.
If I get her address from
yeah, absolutely.
all of us.
All right, so to our unfinished business banner update. I think Chief and I can tag team this a little bit. Last time we were here, there was one banner up in the city parking lot with the police logo on it. I know now there are 4 banners up, 2 with the police logo on it and 2 of just our regular City of Manistee banners on them. And then I think there was some movement at the city council meeting last
Yeah.
night, Chief?
Well, first of all, when we put those banners up, I thought they were going to be too big for those poles. But then when you put them up there, they look amazing.
They
We've
look-
gotten great feedback.
You can really see them.
Yeah, it's great. And so at Tuesday night, city council approved the purchase of, I don't know, antique, whatever you want to call the adjective, antique lights or whatever. And so maybe that might bring more conversations to whether or not we can put banners on those. And I think it was approved on Maple Street between River and First. I don't know if that's that's not the DDA, right? Is that the DDA district? I should know this, but
First.
it's right in front of the PD, right in front of City Hall on Maple Street.
Yeah, so yeah, that's DDA. DDA stretches up towards First Street. It has some areas that kind of
Yeah.
go in and out, but normally the center line of First Street's the DDA boundary.
So maybe that can begin, I can talk to Jeff McCool about a timeline for that project, and maybe we can just approach whomever and say, is there an appetite to post these wonderful banners? I mean, that's right in front of City Hall. It seems so appropriate.
Right.
But I think there's a couple entities, whether that process looks like we make a recommendation to city council, or I can kind of get those things defined and what the appropriate path is and the timeline of that project. So if nothing else, a good opportunity possibly for more banners.
Sure.
You know, there's something about the height of the banners, the ones out here. Of course, you don't want anybody crashing into them as they're walking along, but that height, it catches your attention. There's something, yeah, and that may change from location to location, but
Yeah. Great work too. So,
Well, really to you for getting it moving so that we can actually get the project out and up. So the goal is to finish getting what we have out and up. But obviously there's just hurdles that we have to work through and move through, but at least we have the product. So when the availability is there, we can continue to do that.
Where are those 3 up now?
There's 4 up and they're all in the parking lot of City Hall here.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. So questions about the banner update and where we're at with that? All right. Again, US 31 corridor beautification's just on there. There's really nothing at this moment because nothing is happening there for a time. Hackberry trees, Jane, this
Can
one.
we go back to there was an open house recently, which I went to about the
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
And I came, it wasn't over, but it was kind of late. It was definitely thinned out, and so I had the opportunity to talk to some of the people in
Yes.
charge. I'm very impressed. They're really, they're listening.
Yeah.
They have good suggestions. I even said something that, hey, we hadn't thought about that, and they wrote that down, so that made me feel good.
Good.
But it was a good presentation. Several women were involved also, which to me that was I don't have anything against anybody, but that was a big plus for me that there were some women working on this committee as well. And I was telling them how my main concern beyond safety of, vehicles and people is the appearance, the beauty of it, how it's going to, the attractiveness of it. Is it going to be, is the community going to be proud of what we have there, driving through town? And they were very receptive to that, and they've got that in mind, and talking about islands as you're crossing busy areas, which is mostly, that was like in Manistee Township and I think Filer Township. But they've got a good handle on it. I'm impressed.
Thank you for that update.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hackberry trees. I know, Jean, this was something that you had brought up, and you were really hoping that Nick could be here to talk about this. And
As a matter of fact, I did call the chairman of their committee, John Helge, and he did call me back, and so I explained to him where my inspiration came from as far as like the tidal basin in Washington DC with the cherry trees, and of course that's a huge, expensive project. But then talking about that we already had something like that with the crescent of hackberry trees, and their budget is totally taken care of right now, the tree commission, and they have a big project that they're working on, of course. But I was hoping that he would keep that in mind, and that's something that maybe we could coordinate somehow as far as ideas or something to that effect, because those trees, they're located in a nice location, but there's so many weed trees that have grown up around it that you can't even see the river anymore. And they were originally put there for stabilization of the hillside. But I think it could be a lovely area, and there's a nice, relatively new, 15 years maybe, walkway through there.
Where is that exactly, Jane?
Across from where Olson's used to be.
Oh, yes.
There's a newer
yes.
walkway through there,
Yes.
crescent shape. And the trees used to be very visible years ago, but now they're mixed in with everything else. And I just think that's an area that could be attractive.
Do you know the history of the hackberry trees being planted on the channel?
There are some being,
Do you know the history behind that?
I'm sorry, who what?
Do you know the history behind that?
Other than it was just to stabilize that, when they cut through there, to
No, it's
widen that
Yeah,
area.
they were buried, they were planted there to represent Manistee residents who were lost in World War.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then when they widened the channel out, they had to remove some of those. And actually, Kenny Gilbert makes canes, and they used to present it to the first freighter. Now, the incoming Coast Guard officer in charge and the outgoing are presented with hackberry that were made from the trees that were planted for the,
I've seen those caves, they're
yeah, so
beautiful.
it's a great story.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, and there are memorials along there too, so maybe someday there would even be others extended. And there are benches, and it just could be a nice, attractive
Yeah,
area.
that area is, that memorial is very impressive. It was Memorial Day ceremonies, that was very impressive. Kudos to our city council and DPW, that place looks amazing, so.
Yeah, and John Helge agreed, and even though they couldn't do anything right now, that was something that he would
Jane, what are you proposing needs to be done there?
cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been neglected. And so you can't necessarily tell that this is a hackberry tree here and another one a little bit further along, because there's so many other weed trees that have grown up. You can't see the river.
So Chief, is that something that we could, that a park, I know is that something that we could reach out to other commissions to see if somehow we
I
could,
believe it is a park, and there might be an opportunity for collaboration. Sounds like you've already talked to Tree Commission.
a cleanup day there
Yeah.
possibly?
You know, yes, and you know what, not to bog the meeting down, but years ago, I know a local church did, we used to have that Manistee County cleanup event where
Yes.
one of those days was the Northside Riverwalk there. And so as you're talking, I don't know if that fits into there's a renovation project happening there. I don't know if those two things are gonna, the same or not, but,
Renovation only goes, John said, it only goes as far as the band shell.
well, I can tell you this, we're meeting on Monday. Let's add that to the list, and then maybe I can talk to DPW about a plan moving forward for that. That way I can specifically know what the problem
Not
is.
forgotten, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
Thank you for collaborating with the Tree Commission on that.
Thank you.
Well, and I think and I think it will be important to make sure through the Parks Department, if that is something that we wanted to improve as, or just set a cleanup day and promote it as a cleanup day, and we could just put it out there, and if people wanted to come help, they could, I don't know,
Is
but,
that something we can maybe get mentioned at a Parks meeting?
Yes, yes. And I think it might be well received too, if we did tie it in a little bit to the history of the trees and the history of the area. I think it's Veterans Park, people are interested
well, and maybe,
in supporting that and making it beautiful.
yeah. And maybe there's, I don't know, in September and October, if there's some sort of day opportunity
Yeah.
that we could
Okay.
coordinate it with.
And could we all sign out a chainsaw? I'm joking. I'm joking.
Now, listen, we have tools though, now you're joking, but we do have some tools. We
Yeah.
have some shovels and rakes, all kinds of stuff. All right.
Power washer, right?
Okay, so you're gonna, when is your Parks Department meeting?
Well, we just recently had it, so it's not going to be now till probably September, but we
Okay.
could do it through an email even, because I don't think you tell me how you want it. I
And
could
you're
do
going to talk
I'm
to,
gonna meet with her on Monday, get
Yep.
specifics, and follow up to DPW in the parks.
Right.
We'll hit it from a couple different angles.
okay. Do we want to talk about a date?
No, I don't do email.
So that when we're talking with these
This is
different
just what
people,
I
we could
just
talk
did.
about a
Okay.
date, because it's already August.
It's August, it's time.
Do we want to talk about a date so that when you're talking to different people, we can talk about dates, or do we want to hold off on that? Because we won't be meeting again till early September.
I like dates because they keep us on track and hold us accountable.
Correct.
Actual date, you know?
Yes.
What is this, I mean, we're talking about a projected project date. Do the leaves falling have any impact on this? That's a question I would ask.
Well, and we don't want it to be too cold, but we don't want it to be too hot. I don't want it to be.
I mean, is it unreasonable to say October 1st? I mean, that puts us on a 2-month timeline.
Parks Commission is the 21st of this month of August. So, yeah, I feel like the earliest you could do it is probably like that last week of September. Reasonably.
So,
Third week of September without feeling too rushed and give Parks enough time to.
Patriots Day is September 11th. POA MIA Recognition Day is the third Friday in September, which this year would be September 19th. So like if one of those weekends, if we could coordinate it, you know what I mean, to, let's see. We don't have to, I'm just,
Let's do this. Let me talk to Ms. Shimsky, and let's figure out what the scope of what we're talking about is. And we can have conversations, you know, this could be a 1-hour cleanup event, or it could be, oh no, that's probably a half a day. We don't really know what the scope is as we sit here today. So it's kind of hard to plan.
People, how many? The number of people too
Yeah.
would determine how much.
So we try to figure out what exactly we think needs to get done, and then we can bring that to the parks. My conversation with Jeff McCullough, I can include that, specifics, whatever it might be, weeding, whatever it might be.
2 to 3 hours might be good. I think when you get longer than that, the volunteers dwindle, the number. You know, we don't get the signups. A 2-hour intensive cleanup might be, if we don't get it all done.
You said something about Patriots Day?
that's September 11th. And then the prisoner of war missing in action day is September 19th. So like September 20th is the Saturday. Or it could be that Friday, but you might not get as many volunteers. September 11th is a Thursday.
What do you guys think?
There was a midweek card for you, I guess, you,
A big day, that's
Andrew, you're two working people.
Yeah, right.
If I know now, I can
Okay.
make things happen. I don't know, in terms of getting volunteers, a weekend might be better, but
I mean, it wasn't good on
no?
the safety day or even on the paint day, it wasn't good. So, I don't know, I think the weeknight might be just, it's up to you.
Oh, that's true, an evening?
Like 5:30, you know.
We can,
Josh?
I think, honestly, when I think about the fall, I think about parents, kids back in school, all the fall sports happening, teachers. So I think you have a lot of day and evening obligations throughout the week.
Yeah, I was thinking more Saturday obligations.
Just college
Okay.
football.
It's hard to know.
true too.
Yeah.
It's not like we're gonna get hundreds of them.
No,
So I think,
but I do think if we are able to promote it with the military angle as well and the veterans, I think we might
Get a response.
garner more people and get
When
a
was
bigger
prisoner of
response.
war again?
and more,
The 19th, which is a Friday, so we could do it on the 20th.
Is that pretty reasonable, just to have a goal to work towards? Is that, or are we setting ourselves up for failure here? Is the 20th something we can at least work towards?
I think so.
yes,
September 11th is gonna be very difficult to do anything on people.
or 20th.
September 20th, what time, let's put a time out there just to pretend.
I was gonna say, it'd be morning, I think's best.
9 to 12.
9 to 12?
You're done at
9 to
12.
12, give them lunch, yep. That's what we did last project, we did, well, it was 9 to 2, and we learned that was too long, but we bought them lunch, and yeah, there's a path there, so.
Okay,
So we'll have more specific information, I'll talk to Jeff McCool, and I will communicate with you.
Awesome.
As far as that conversation, and in case there's any curveballs, we can pivot. Now we have a goal.
yes, I like it.
We're
Thank
working
you.
towards it.
Thank you. I'm glad we've continued to keep it on the agenda.
There you go.
It got us somewhere. Thank you very much.
That's nice.
All right, new business. Hi, Tim Ball. Hi. Welcome. Come on up, tell us a little bit about yourself.
How far back do you want me to go?
However far back you want to go. What don't you want us to know about you? No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, I've been around Manistee since 2008. I came here on a promotion to the prison as deputy warden, and I did about 10 years there, 11 years there. And I've been retired for about the last 6 years. I come and sat in front of the police chief and interviewed for this position, so here I stand today. I mean, I'm married, I got a couple grown-up children that still are kind of in the area. They both graduated from Manistee. I like to hunt and fish and just generally hang out, kind of a loner type of guy. But I started this on June 23rd with the city. It's been quite an endeavor so far. It's been kind of neat getting out and meeting the different folks that, in town. We're working towards, cleaning up areas that need it, and we're using C-Click Fix, we're using calls, we're using whatever means available. I'm out driving around and identifying areas. I'm lucky. I've got a great mentor that knows the city like the back of his hand and knows most of the people. So I'm 6 weeks deep and learning a lot every day. And I guess one of the things I would say is the difference between code enforcement everybody thinks that I handle everything as far as code enforcement goes, and I'm hired to handle blight. And, which is, what I'm learning by our ordinance is junk. And, so I'm out identifying houses and businesses and different things that, different places that have, a lot of junk or, it's difficult because one man's junk is another man's treasure. So, you gotta find that happy medium out there with people and try to get them to clean up even if it isn't junk, so. But, Jerry Blau handles the housing end of blighted structures. So, I'm getting calls from a lot of folks that want me to handle stuff that goes to Jerry. And, I don't know, is there a better way to explain that, Chief?
I don't think so. We're very careful with Tim's time because he was hired with intent to address blight. He helps out zoning a little bit. And then in the wintertime when the snow flies, he helps out Jerry, our building official, with rental inspections. But his intent was blight. And I'm very impressed at how quickly he got up on plane and how passionate he is. We've got some movement and cleanups I didn't think we'd get. I think at a council meeting you mentioned something, and we weren't able to get any movement for a year. Now we've got a van gone, a dumpster, and so it's amazing when you start looking at his before and after portfolio, just being here in June, it's pretty impressive. The challenge is you don't remember the blight, it's gone, you just remember what you still see. So it's definitely an uphill climb, but doing great things.
There's plenty of it out there. I mean, it's, you can't clean it up overnight. And I'm trying to, Chief's letting me use my own approach right now, and so, I'm going with what I can and trying to listen to, the different information given by, different staff, and working with the police officers is awesome, and we're just trying to move it forward. I'm really not coming in with a super tough approach when I talk to people. I'm just trying to get compliance. So rather than just citing people, I'm just addressing them and seeing if we can come up with a plan to clean up whatever they got going on. And so far, I think it's worked to a certain point, but we all know that you're only going to be able to push so far like that, and then you're going to turn it over to the next level. So, any questions for me, or?
How many hours are you hired for?
20 hours a week.
Okay.
Part-time guy.
You're new yet, are our core codes written enforceable? And that would be something, you don't have to say that right now, but I think something that we always want to make sure, you're going to one that's going to uncover and have the opportunity to enforce them. I think we want it, because they're always subject to be updated or amended or reviewed, so don't hesitate to give.
I think that's why the chief said I'm passionate, because we've had numerous conversations already about ordinances and how they're written and what.
Are a little vague.
They're very general
Yeah.
in some places, and they could use a little tweaking here and there from my aspect as a new guy coming in looking,
Yes.
I mean, I said at this, not the last city meeting, but the one city council meeting, the one before, and there was a guy that came up and talked about grass being, we're not gonna touch it until it's 10 inches tall. Because grass really isn't mine, that's public works, but I see it, when you get grass that's 10 inches tall, it's one of those things that I think needs to be looked at, and I think the word junk needs to be looked at a little closer, as far as, when you're that guy going out and talking to people, or you're sending somebody a letter and you're referring to their stuff, their possessions as junk, it gets a little heated sometimes, really fast, and I I just try to tell them, I said, it's just the way the ordinance is written, and it doesn't mean your stuff's junk, it just means we gotta clean it up, you know, so.
Part of our process is looking at our ordinances and seeing, are there terms that are vague or subjective? And so Tim and I have already had conversations about, you know, really the planning session for NRBC is usually the wintertime because and if there's an appetite to really look at the wording of some of these ordinances, we think there's a benefit in maybe developing languages based on other municipalities, maybe recommending that language to the ordinance committee. Every year we look at everything we do from the police department and say, okay, we had a great conversation today about, what was the word?
Parking.
No, what was the word that, unsightly?
Unsightly,
And
yeah.
so,
Oh, because
you
it's the
know-
word in 650,
Yeah.
chapter 650.
So just making sure we can improve everything, that we don't have any issues. We want to eliminate subjectivity. We let the magistrate and the judge be the arbiter of facts. We like to be objective.
And I think some of it is, especially in blight, it cannot be a judgment call. It has to be a measurable, definable, and not subjective or judgmental. And I think we want to avoid that. And some of our ordinances are a little bit written that way.
Yeah.
So we, with your help, can clean them up. We would appreciate that. And you're dealing with it more day to day and looking at them closer probably than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Well,
Good.
let's say 6 weeks in and
2, yeah.
we're having some great conversations about it, so okay. I think it'll happen in time.
Is there any rule about we have 1 day a month to put out garbage, large items,
One large item.
one large item?
It-
Yeah.
See, I'm learning this too, based on the city.
Yeah, right, one large item, and it's like, what do you do about people who put out, more than one 10, 20 days before their day? I mean, and they live on a main street going to the beach, and you're going by there, and,
Kathy's right, that's.
oh, those 3 mattresses look divine there.
Well, that's what I C-Click Fix, because I've gotten some.
Oh, okay.
Some stuff, you know, by C-Click Fix that, you know, I grab those, print them, and shoot right out and take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Because I can't be all over the city at the same time, so.
No.
So when I can, you know, get that information, I'll go check it, or a telephone call, you know,
Okay,
is fine.
And if I could add to that, we have recently developed a path or discovered a path that if you have a bunch of stuff in your right-of-way, trash, there might be a path where the city comes with the garbage people and pick it up for you and charge you for it. We had a situation on the north side. We recently discovered that our schedule of fees, the DPW has done this years ago. And so we developed a path that, again, based on facts and circumstances. We had an apartment, we get a few a year, people move out and they put all their stuff in the right-of-way.
Keyword is right of way.
Yeah, right, public domain. So we've developed a path where we get with our DPW, who coordinate with our garbage folks, Republic, and they come and they load it up, and when the city sends you a bill, and that's the way it should be. That's on the public property, public right-of-way, because you've abandoned possession there. So
Sure.
we've created that path, depending on the facts and circumstances. That's not a path that we knew existed before.
right?
So again, we are always evaluating the way we do things. The key is that we want to make sure that we are ethical and constitutional in what we do.
Okay,
And I like that there's some leeway, and yet you have to draw the line at a certain point.
Sure.
We lived for many years in another community with a HOA, and I didn't like the idea of an HOA. If I want to paint my house purple with pink polka dots, I want to be able to do that. And yet, it's nice when your neighbor really is doing that, that they can say you can't do that, because then they're protecting my property as well.
Yeah.
So, and yet to even have a timeline for like your garbage cans, your garbage bins, when they can go out, when they should be put away, and where they should be on your property. Now I'm getting really picky here, but sometimes they're stored in the front yard,
Sure.
like that.
Ever since we've had big item pickups, we've had issues of people putting them out early, ever since we've had it. And so when we asked our police officers to do this, the consensus is what's the point? By the time you do this and this, they picked it up and it's not. So it's certainly been a challenge, but that's why, we use our discretion and say, okay, you didn't put this out early. You moved out, this trash is here, neighbors shouldn't have to see it. So it's really a case by case basis.
That's why you need a good person in charge.
There you go.
And with it too, I notice people like to put furniture out in the right of way. And I stop and try to identify, whose furniture it is, and if I can, I ask them to remove it from the right of way, because it's, a couple of them are like 2 weeks early. And it's okay with me if they just take it and, store it next to their house or whatever. I'm not gonna call it blight. We know what they're doing. But with that also, I learned that, for $16, you can buy a ticket on the second floor down here and put that ticket right on that item, and on your next pickup, Republic will take it. And to me, $16 is a bargain to have a big couch or, sofa or whatever taken away, versus you trying to load it up and take it to the dump yourself and then get charged for it when you get there. So there are some avenues, and over time we'll get that information to the folks. And you're always gonna have those people. But I'm meeting a lot of people who are they care about how their yards look, and I've said to the chief, I said, there's a lot more people out here that care how their yards look than there are that don't. So you got to keep that in mind too when you're driving around looking at stuff that don't, it's easy to pick the stuff that don't look good, but we need a program to identify the people that are doing a nice job too. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
One last thing, and it came as a comment from a citizen, and it was regarding a citizen who lived next to a blighted house. And he brought up this suggestion. He said, I looked out, and it's July 4th weekend, our banner showcase weekend or whatever, when everybody has a relative in town, or at least many, many people come to town. And he goes, of course, it's the large pickup, and everybody's place looks terrible because the way it was falling, and on those holidays, nobody knows exactly, you can't always remember what day are they coming and whatever. And he said, our city looked at its all-time worst for the summer because that large pickup item fell, and it will always. And he said sleigh bale also, but sleigh bale, of course, is winter and they don't put out quite as much junk. But I thought, maybe you're the one that could, you have to do that like a year ahead if we could have it maybe. And his suggestion was, in July, could we just postpone it a week and notify the people and somehow cover that or whatever, something to think about. It was his suggestion. I thought it was a good suggestion. But I noticed that too at July 4th.
Yeah, that could be a recommendation that comes from this group to city council, just managing expectations. We have rules now, and they still put the garbage out early anyways, but that could be a recommendation that comes, we could workshop that this winter and say, just manage your expectations, because people don't follow the rules right now, but if we change that date, just,
Month, and that was his suggestion.
and if you get the 60% compliance, it still looks better than what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah, we saw it over July 4th weekend.
yes.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
A few meetings back, we talked about possibly doing a fall cleanup project. I think maybe we've established a fall cleanup project with the hackberry trees. I think our intent with the fall cleanup project was to maybe look at gathering, beefing up our volunteer list or updating our volunteer list, and then kind of putting out a form for people who might need help with raking their leaves or something like that. It's certainly something we can still do if we want to do another fall project. I guess that's really up to the commission. But I do think, we are going to be undertaking the September fall project and putting, hoping for volunteers for that. So I'm not sure what that looks like or what everyone's thinking.
I got one other idea that I would, instead of the fall leaf cleanup, I think, and I thought of it this summer, didn't do anything, I didn't mention it, but City Hall never seems to have like big flower, we have those ledges that come out that face Water Street, we have a spot on, you know, that faces Maple, it's a very visible building and a lot of people come and go. I think we could make the outside more attractive and welcoming, whether it was just big flower pots, Petoskey they put out, big pumpkins and some bales of hay, but could we beautify more our own City Hall? And I think people would notice it, and I think, and do it more seasonal. Do, you know, we didn't in this summer, of course, but start with the fall and then go on to Christmas. And I think it could be, if anybody's interested. I think,
You're looking at me, what?
Well,
I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a budget or if it, you know.
right,
we-
I guess
don't
that's a couple of things, I
that.
don't know if that's something that we
And
can
if the city.
spend money on.
So the
Number-
DDA currently buys all the flowers for downtown, and with the city hall being in there, maybe that's something that could be looked at for incorporating, you know, in that order if, because I know DPW has a couple of those extra metal baskets, and maybe it is just a matter of getting them out there, maybe tacking that onto a DDA, order for our fall planters, for the mums that we get in the hanging baskets, but that's something that would obviously have to get probably cross-checked with Jeff and the DDA board and in looking further into that. But I've heard that as well from several business owners downtown being like, well, we have all these beautiful baskets right, you know, right in downtown. Why aren't there more right on that ledge, walking up to the city?
Yeah, and if just big, I can just see it, Jane, you're good at this, just big black urns with seasonal things in them. We could do greens at Christmas, we could do pumpkins, we could do.
And that's something we probably definitely want to talk with Jeff with, just
Okay.
from a maintenance standpoint, because I know they're, you know, DPW is the one who's waters all the plants downtown, and so that's just another thing for them to water, so that's definitely maybe a capacity
Or
thing
could
as
we,
well.
yeah,
Liz, are you talking about on City Hall or
Yeah, on the
leading up to?
steps.
just even on the steps, I mean, you go by the, you know what I mean, those, big ledges that come out,
Yeah.
marble ledges, it's beautiful, and everybody passes it coming into the building, and we've never, as far as I know, I have not seen too much going on there, and I thought it would be pretty. It could just be a little beautification project.
A prominent location.
It's a very prominent location, and it's a little bit of pride in our building and pride in our city. And it wouldn't be hard, it wouldn't be expensive, if you did pumpkins and you did the Christmas trees. What'd you say? No, that's what I'm thinking, and either with the greens and
Yeah.
the planters you can buy now are not being watered down at the Lions Pavilion, and they look fine. They retain the water, and I don't know that they water them hardly.
They used to decorate a tree on the corner, but
Yes,
is that going on?
I haven't seen it lately. The decorated tree on the corner we used to.
The tree might be gone.
Is it, no, the tree's there, but we don't decorate it. Just an idea.
Yeah, it used to be really cool.
Sounds like we planted a seed and we'll see if it takes root. Continue conversations, yeah.
Heather, you're good at that.
I guess what Sarah's ask was, is fall
So
cleanup?
I have a few questions, Chief, that maybe you might not have the answers to, but you could get the answers for us. A, would that be something that we could do?
Legal expenditure question?
Well, and then B, is that something that we can spend our funds on?
Sure, no. So what you're asking is you're asking to purchase flowers,
More than just flowers, maybe pumpkins,
decorations.
decorations,
For City Hall, a public building.
beautify
Yes.
City Hall.
Okay, I can get the answer. That's pretty easy.
That's
And I can give you my opinion, but it doesn't hold a lot of weight.
Not looking for your opinion, we're looking for an answer.
We're looking for public funds to be spent on a public building, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll get you an
Yes.
answer.
Yes.
I think that would be very nice.
Yeah, okay.
What's the other question?
I think, and then if.
We
okay,
can use our budget money for that?
We can use our budget money, but then also if that's a viable project, I mean, you might run that by the city manager and he may say, no, I don't think we should put something out there for this reason. I don't know what that reason might be, but that,
Yeah.
there could be a reason it's not done.
I'm gonna give my opinion. I don't like gore. Like for Halloween. I don't
think it
gore.
should
I
be
like
gore.
harvest stuff.
Yeah, no, pumpkins is what my thought was.
Yeah, colorful.
I didn't think you meant Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I think we're like a harvest. I think I understand you.
I was
Yep.
thinking witches and,
I don't think it'll be a haunted house.
thank you, Jane.
All right, so we'll get some answers on that and then maybe be able to move forward with that in September. Any public comment? Nothing now, Grubba, you sure? All right, good of the order, Jane.
I have nothing more.
Okay, Kathy,
Good, thank you.
Liz,
Good.
Andrew. All right, I don't have anything, Chief.
Two things real quick. As you heard, Tim's doing a great job. He's getting compliance. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, NRBC has $2,500 for this fiscal year.
What was that?
$500.
$2,500 for this fiscal year.
Which is
And when does it have to?
June.
June 30th, June 30th of 2026.
Oh, okay.
I have a clarification question. Looking at the proceedings, whatever it is called for this commission, we're supposed to meet quarterly, or at least quarterly, so we won't be meeting every month? How is that set up?
Since I've been on the commission,
You're scheduled to meet
we've met monthly.
Maybe monthly.
Okay, or was it, I was interpreting as quarterly for the year, like for me, no.
We meet monthly. Very rarely, we actually met multiple times a month when we had a big project, but we meet monthly.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn, Heather, or can we just?
We need a motion.
Oh, okay, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Andrew made the motion.
Second.
And Liz is second. All right,